For centuries, the world has been told the story of ancient Egypt, the pyramids, the pharaohs, the mighty Nile, but few know that there came a time when Egypt itself was conquered, not by Rome, not by Greece, but by a powerful African kingdom from the south. A kingdom of warriors, kings, and queens. A kingdom that would not only conquer Egypt, but rule it as pharaohs. This is the incredible story of the Black Pharaohs of Kush. South of Egypt, in present-day Sudan, lay a region known as Nubia. For thousands of years, Nubia was rich in gold, ivory, ebony, livestock, and trade routes. The Egyptians called it the land of gold. Many Egyptian pharaohs grew wealthy from Nubian resources. Yet Nubia was far more than a source of wealth. It was home to powerful kingdoms of its own. For centuries, Egypt and Nubia fought, traded, and influenced each other. Sometimes Egypt dominated Nubia. Sometimes Nubia fought back. Over time, the Nubians absorbed Egyptian writing, rigais, beliefs, architecture, military techniques. But they never lost their own identity. Instead, they adapted and became stronger. The 25th dynasty began. From the heart of Nubia, a unified empire emerged under his command. Civil wars erupted. Foreign invasions shook the kingdom. The once mighty pharaohs lost control. Kush saw an opportunity. Then came a king named Pi. He believed the gods had chosen him to restore order to Egypt. In 728 BCE, he marched north. His armies crossed deserts and rivers. City after city surrendered. King after king bowed before him. The impossible happened. Egypt had been conquered by Africans from the south. Pi became pharaoh. His successors ruled both Egypt and Kush. Historians call them the 25th dynasty. For nearly a century, Black Pharaohs sat on the throne of Egypt. Among the greatest were Pi, Shabaka, Taharka, Tantamani. These rulers saw themselves as protectors of Egyptian civilization. They restored temples. They revived traditions. They rebuilt monuments. In many ways, they became more Egyptian than the Egyptians themselves. The greatest Kushite ruler was Taharka. Under his leadership, the kingdom reached its peak. But a new enemy emerged, the mighty Neo-Assyrian Empire. The Assyrians were feared across the ancient world. Their armies were ruthless. Even Egypt struggled against them. Taharka fought bravely, but eventually, the Assyrians invaded Egypt. After fierce battles, the Kushite rulers withdrew south. Their rule over Egypt ended, yet their kingdom survived. Many kingdoms collapse after defeat. Kush did not. Instead, it moved its capital to Meroe. There it became richer than ever. The kingdom controlled gold mines, iron production, trade routes. Meroe became one of Africa's greatest cities. Its wealth attracted merchants from across the ancient world. Here's a fact that surprises many people. The rulers of Kush built more pyramids than Egypt. Today, more than 200 Nubian pyramids remain standing in Sudan. These pyramids are steeper, narrower, distinctive in design. Yet they receive only a fraction of the attention given to Egypt's monuments. They remain one of Africa's greatest hidden wonders. Kush was also famous for powerful female rulers, known as Kandakes, queens. These women commanded armies and governed kingdoms. One of them became legendary. When the Romans advanced into Nubia, a warrior queen known as Amanirenas. Rome makes a mistake in 30 BCE. After defeating Cleopatra V, Rome annexed Egypt. Roman officials believed Kush would submit like many other territories. They were wrong. The Romans imposed taxes and attempted to extend their influence southward. Amanirenas saw this as a threat to her kingdom's independence. Instead of waiting for invasion, she decided to strike first. Around 25 BCE, Amanirenas gathered an army of thousands. Leading from the front, she marched north into Roman-controlled Egypt. Ancient records describe her as fierce and fearless. Some sources suggest she had lost an eye in battle, earning her a legendary reputation as the one-eyed warrior queen. Her forces attacked Roman garrisons and captured several cities. The Kushites destroyed Roman statues and symbols of imperial authority. One of the most famous acts involved a bronze head of Augustus, which was taken as a trophy. According to tradition, the head was buried beneath a temple entrance so that people would walk over the Roman emperor every day. A powerful message. Rome could not ignore the insult. the Roman governor of Egypt, Gaius Petronius, assembled a large force and marched south. The Romans captured several Kushite settlements and advanced deep into Nubian territory. Many expected Kush to collapse, but Amanarrenas refused to surrender. Instead, she continued resistance and forced Rome into a costly campaign far from its centers of power. For years, fighting continued along the Nile frontier. Unlike many kingdoms that were absorbed by Rome, Kush remained resilient. The terrain was harsh. Supply lines were long. Roman victories were expensive. Amanarrenas understood that Rome's greatest weakness was distance. The longer the war lasted, the more costly it became for the empire. Eventually, negotiations began. The outcome surprised many. Instead of being conquered, Kush secured favorable peace terms. The treaty reportedly ended Roman demands for tribute, preserved Kushite independence, established a stable frontier, allowed trade to continue. For nearly 3 centuries afterward, Rome and Kush maintained peaceful relations. This was an extraordinary achievement. Very few rulers facing Rome managed to preserve their sovereignty. Amanarrenas did. Most people learn about Roman generals and emperors. Few hear about the African queen who stood against them. Yet Amanarrenas accomplished something remarkable. Defended her kingdom's independence, led armies personally, challenged the most powerful empire on earth, forced Rome into negotiation, not submission. She remains one of Africa's greatest military leaders and one of history's most underrated queens. When most people imagine pharaohs, they never imagine Africa south of Egypt. Yet the Black Pharaohs of Kush ruled one of the greatest civilizations in history. They conquered Egypt, challenged mighty empires, built hundreds of pyramids, and left behind a legacy carved in stone along the Nile. Their story reminds us that Africa's history is far richer, deeper, and more extraordinary than many were ever taught.